Hello everyone, I'm Nini FC, this is Blue Lions TV. Welcome to another 5 talking points video after our disappointing 0-0 draw against Southampton. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about Ruben's comments on the team. Are the players we have good enough for Sarriball? The importance of a number 8? And my thoughts and observations on our injury problems and our rotation issues. You know what I'm about to say now. If you like this video, smash the like button. Help me get more than 500 likes for today's video and press the bell notification button as well to stay tuned to all things Blue Lions TV. Moving straight into the first talking point, that's in regards to statements made by Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and basically he was saying that the team are currently struggling against opposition teams that use very defensive low block tactics. He was saying that because teams sit really deep, and of course naturally because we do have the ball, we are going to be in the opposition's half, it really does congest the pitch and make things much tighter to play in. But Ruben offered his own personal solution as to what he would do to really help the team overcome this current problem, and he was saying that we should adopt a more Barcelona-esque style. Now, he's not saying that we should play tiki-taka. Let's be serious, Barcelona haven't played that style of football for many years now. But he was talking about how they make those runs in behinds, because it's those runs that get made in behind that really disrupt the opposition team's shape, and that's how you then create spaces in the middle for our best players to do something. Now here's where I give my thoughts and opinions, and let's be serious, when you watch Barcelona play, who are the players that do make those late man runs? They tend to be Jordi Alba and Sergio Roberto. That's what you need. You need offensive fullbacks that can contribute to that side of the game. How often do you see Messi playing those through balls to the left for Jordi Alba to run onto? It happens every single time. And the only time we ever see Chelsea fullbacks doing that comes from Emerson or Zappacosta. I mean, look at Marcos Alonso. This guy constantly makes runs in fields. And what I don't understand is, it's 2019. Why is he still allowed to do this? What tactical benefit does it really give us that Marcos Alonso is allowed to be inside the opposition's box? And when you look at Aspie as well, he doesn't really add much of his movement off the ball down that right hand side. How many times is he really there to provide that cutback cross? And I've been saying this for such a long time. This needs to be addressed in the team. This is the only big thing we need to achieve to really help this team become even better. When you're a team like us that keeps the ball, it's natural that other teams will be defending off the ball. And this is why fullbacks are so important in the modern game. And when you look at our fullbacks compared to the other big teams' fullbacks, they don't compare. I really believe that none of our fullbacks would get into Barcelona's team or Juventus's team, etc, etc. Now Ruben made a really great point, and this is why I feel Sarri needs to embrace the attacking sense of this team. We have players that do make those runs. Emerson, he constantly does that. Ruben himself. Ruben is the best attacking midfield player that we do have. And when you look at us play when they're not playing, how many people actually get into the opposition box to get on the end of crosses or cutback passes? You rarely see it happening. Most times the forward is isolated, and I personally feel like the reasons that Sarri is using to still give game time to guys like Marcos Alonso just isn't strong enough now. Our main thing is we aren't scoring enough goals. And yes, I do understand that if you do use guys like Emerson and Ruben, maybe potentially you might not be as solid off the ball defensively, but I feel like that doesn't really matter too much if Sarri is on point with his game management. For example, let's say that we do use these guys and we're 2-0 up with 30 minutes left to go. That's when, if I'm Sarri, I would take off Ruben, bring on Cover, and then maybe in the next 10 minutes, you could even take off Emerson if you wanted to bring on Alonso, and that could really work in our favour. I mean, the beauty of Sarriball is the fact that we're very good at keeping the ball in our own half. We can beat any press that we're faced against. And imagine, we're 2-0 up, 30 minutes to go. The opposition team are putting more men forward to try and get a goal back. They've been playing for an hour, they're getting pretty tired. We've made fresh substitutions to be a bit more solid defensively. I could really imagine us just cutting through teams and creating tons of counter-attacking opportunities. Still, that's only my opinion. You guys give me your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. My second talking point is about, do we have the players right now that are good enough for Sarriball? Now, it's a question that all of us fans have been thinking about, and I think that it's a very valid one. And let's be serious, we all know this. I'm sure Sarri knows this himself, but we don't have many players right now that could really maximize the full potential of this system. And for me, those areas are left back, right wing, and striker. Now, I've already explained in the previous point of this video the importance of having good fullbacks. Ideally, I would love to be in a world where we either give game time to guys like Reece James or Ola Aina, and we sign someone like a Ricardo Pereira. But I'm going to break down why I feel these 4 areas in the team are really putting us at a handicap. Now, with our fullbacks, number 1, they're very one-dimensional. Whatever they do off the ball is so one-note. It's either a really bad cross from deep. They rarely make runs in the opposition box. Their runs never stretch opposition teams. They have no imagination in the final thirds. And they do have a habit of losing really easy possession of the ball. For us to really become a top club, we need to sign better fullbacks. Now, for the right wing position, it basically comes down to the age of the players, and I personally feel like both Willian and Pedro are on the decline. Think about it like this, Sarri with his new system and tactics, he's using really old wingers for them, and in this system it's really demanding. You have to run hard, you have to press, you have to run with the ball a lot. Can you really consistently rely on guys like Pedro and Willian, guys who are 30 plus, to consistently be reliable over the course of a season? I don't think so. Now, with the right wing, we've never really found the right player for that position. With Willian, he's constantly been playing out of position, and really, he's never really shown us his full potential playing for us. And when it comes to Pedro as well, I do feel a bit unlucky for the guy. In an alternate dimension, Pedro signing for us when Sarri is our manager, it would have been completely different for him, and I feel like he would have performed much more for us. But these guys aren't going to be getting any better, and I think we have to replace both of them. On top of that, what I really don't like is the lack of passing angles and shooting angles when Pedro isn't consistently playing. That's really key, if you're playing against teams that are parking the bus, that makes the pitch very tight and very congested. So you need to have guys who can play on their left foot, beating people, playing passes, creating that space. And you only really get that maximum balance if you have the right combination and balance of left-footed players and right-footed players. And obviously, let's be serious, when it comes to the striking position, we don't have strikers that can score that one goal from the only opportunity of a game. Let's be serious, over the games where we haven't performed as well, we've still created maybe 1 or 2 clear-cut chances that should have been scored and buried that never came. Now, let's be serious, when you look at the other big teams across Europe, it's not as if they're consistently putting in 8 or 9 out of 10 performances. That's not the case. A lot of times they are playing games like this, but because of the caliber of the player, they're able to take responsibility in those key and decisive moments. And that's why a lot of times we forget about their very mediocre performances. And right now, we aren't that top club where we do have the players that can score and take responsibility in those very decisive moments. But you guys, give me your thoughts and opinions now. Of course, I always read every single comment. It's impossible to reply back to everyone, there's too many. But don't let that stop you from giving your own thoughts and opinions. What areas in the team do you feel need addressing for us to reach another height? Moving on to the third talking point, that's in regards to our left-hand side and why it needs an upgrade. Now, I said this in the match review, but Alonso and Hazard have the worst partnership and combinations out of any of the big teams in this country. As I was saying earlier, why is it still a thing for Marcos Alonso to make runs infield inside the box, forcing Hazard to stay out wide? It doesn't make any sense. And I remember the good old days where we had guys like, Ruben, or guys like Malouda, Ashley Cole and Frank Lampard. That synergy down that left-hand side under Ancelotti when we won the league is the best I've ever seen. We came really close to that when we saw Hazard and Massa playing together. But I feel like if the left-hand side is the most important side in the Sarri system, he's not doing it enough justice. And I feel like if you need to get the best out of it, you have to embrace those attacking qualities. Hazard is much more effective playing alongside someone like a Ruben and Emerson together. Imagine the space and movement that could be created with the use of these 3 guys. Emerson is adept at running past people, he can get towards the byline, and he's got imagination in this final ball in the final thirds. Ruben can attack the spaces, he can keep the ball, he has threats on goal, and I feel like one really underrated aspect of his game is his intelligence when it comes to the timing of his runs inside the opposition box. And when you play with someone like Eden Hazard that has that free role, Hazard constantly makes space for players, but if you've got guys like Alonso and Barkley down that left hand side, it's no surprise that they're not going to utilise those spaces created by Hazard. And this was exactly why Hazard didn't really influence the game as much against Southampton. And I feel it's really simple and easy, really deep it. We have one of the top 3 players in the world playing for us. And I feel like when you have a player of this quality and dimension, I think you really have to maximize everything out of them and you have to do that by tweaking the team to their favour. This decade we've seen great success from teams like Real Madrid and Barcelona that have really catered their entire systems towards one player, Messi and Ronaldo, and because of that, look at the records these guys broke over this decade. It's incredible. We can do this for Eden Hazard, and I feel like Hazard is good enough that he does deserve this type of attention. But that means that we have to take a risk. I feel like we have to lose this type of old spirit we have where it's like balance over everything. We don't constantly need balance. I don't mind if we win more games 3-2 or 3-1 compared to 1-0 or 2-0. Moving on to the final 2 points, starting with the fourth talking point. I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions on the importance of the number 8 in the Sarri system. As I've said so many times already, Ross offered nothing in the game yesterday, and I keep saying this. It's not because I have any bias towards the player, I don't. I'm just saying it from the fact that I don't think he's good enough for this level. It doesn't impact the game or take responsibility, and I think the worst thing about Ross right now is that he doesn't play with any confidence. He's not playing his natural game, and I feel like the pressures of playing for a club like us are really affecting him. And ideally, I feel like he needed one more season at Everton before making the move. He was out for an entire year. That's not going to help a player. But I feel like with the conditions available at Everton, he could have played consistently, got that confidence back, and then said, you know what, I am ready for another challenge. But I understand why he came, because sometimes you only get one opportunity in life. But when Cesc came on to replace him, he showed all the qualities needed for that position. Cesc created those passing connections. He helps us play between the lines in those tight spaces. He started finding links with Eden Hazard, who started to get into the game even more. And the most important thing was that players started to make more runs when they saw that Fabregas was on, because you know that if I make a run, 9 times out of 10, Cesc is going to find me. I think currently, in my opinion, the battle for the number 8 position is between Ruben and Cover, and ideally for the sake of the team and for the sake of getting more goals, I feel like Ruben should be number 1 for that position. And to end things on the final talking point, I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions on our current injury concerns and rotation. Now, even though yesterday was really frustrating, we have to understand and respect the context. I mean, number 1, so many players are out injured, and that's been one of our main things this season. If players aren't injured, we've got players that aren't fully match fit who are forced to play when they aren't ready. And this is the reason it's taken us such a long time to get our best guys back to full speed. Look at how many players are currently out. William, Pedro, Giroud, Hudson-Odoi, Kovacic possibly as well. And I feel like a lot of this came down to the fact that Sarri wasn't rotating as much. I've given my thoughts and opinions so many times in these types of 5 talking point videos, so I'm not going to repeat myself again, but I've spoken about the benefits of rotating with the team and how it really helps sustain a team through the course of a season. Because when you don't take the necessary preventions, you get games like yesterday. Ideally, I'm thinking that Sarri would have preferred to have taken off Ross for Ruben, as he would want Willian to stay on the pitch for longer, especially when Morata is misfiring and we have no Olivier Giroud. But because of Willian's injury, it really forced Sarri to do different things. I keep saying this, and I feel like this is the number 1 reason as to why a lot of us fans feel frustration with the club sometimes, and that's the fact that we've always felt like we've got the solutions for what we need already in the team, but managers keep going for the safe, pragmatic option instead of taking a risk to benefit our attacking players. And if there was ever a time now for Sarri to really embrace rotation and using the rest of the squad, now is the right time. But anyway, you guys, that's going to bring an end to today's 5 talking points video. Please like, comment and subscribe. I'm Nini FC. This is Blue Line TV. Signing out.